and welcome back to the Dandelion Diaries. Today I'm going to be going over how I use my daily pages in my Hobonichi cousin, and if needed I have a supplemental journal on the side. So let's get into this. So starting off with my Hobonichi cousin, this is in a 𝗦𝘃𝗃 A5 cover in the color olive. I really like this. It has lots of pockets. I just have a few things in here, and I won't go over too much because this is probably going to be pretty chatty just because of the daily pages themselves. But let me flip to some dailies. Okay, so these are 2 dailies that I have completed. I do use them as like a journal kind of situation, but we'll just talk about the ones that I've completed for today. So I'm going to zoom you guys in and kind of break down how I use the daily page, but I'm going to use a blank one as an example first. So this is what a blank daily page looks like. You have your month at the top with the moon phase, the day, the date, and then it has this little section here for time blocking. I don't use this because I use the weeklies. I use the weeklies as time blocking since they're laid out that way. It also has a section up here if you want to keep any kind of checklists, and then the rest of the space is pretty much just free space to do whatever you want. And it does have a quote at the bottom that I cover up sometimes I just ignore it. This isn't my favorite thing, but it just comes with the planner the way it's set up. But for the way I use it, this is how it usually looks for the most part. It's either like this or it's like this, where it's more of just like a memory page. So for this type of journaling I do in the dailies, I usually have the weather up here. I'll track any kind of astrology event. I really like, keeping up with moon phases, any kind of astrological transits or anything like that. And I usually write a little synopsis of like what that means. I'm a pretty spiritual person, and so moons and stars really interest me a lot. I also write down affirmations every single day. This is just really good practice to kind of influence your subconscious into being a better, more positive person. I like to always say like I'm healthy, I am happy, I'm strong, just so that way my body and my mind agree with it at some point. Like, it may not be true in this moment, but I'm working towards having those being actual statements. After that, usually I'll do like a random thought or some kind of reminder. Sometimes I write down if I have any kind of specific prayers I want to write down or anything like that. This day I actually found a really cool type of science called graphology. It's all about the analysis of handwriting and how it shows your personality traits, or if you have any kind of like tendencies to do anything. And there's a lady here on YouTube, she actually does reviews of like everybody's types of handwriting, so like from serial killers to actresses to musicians. Like, it's really cool, kind of the science behind it. I think it's a really cool pseudoscience for sure. After that, I usually just go into any tasks I have for the day. I try to break it down into like home tasks, personal tasks, and other tasks. Sometimes I'll write down work tasks as well, but I do have a separate planner for my work stuff, just so that way I can keep this one mainly for personal memory use. But yeah, so the whole column I use over here, I basically just use as like fun ways to break apart my day between learning about astrology, random thoughts, affirmations, and tasks. And then the other half I break down into more of like a journal entry, or if I have any kind of fun thoughts, if I did a cool recipe I really liked, any lists I want to make for like packing lists or grocery lists. Yeah, I usually start off by writing down if I had any dreams. I am a terrible sleeper in the sense that I can go to sleep really easily, but my sleep schedule changes depending on what time I end up getting into my bed and how often I put my phone down. I'm trying to get back to being a really good cycle, have a really good circadian rhythm cycle. I used to be very good at going to bed at a specific time, sleeping like 7 hours and waking up, and it was the same every single day. Since then, it has not really been any different, or it has been different in the fact that I'll go to bed at 2 a.m. some days, or I'll go to bed at 8 p.m. some days, and I'm really trying to just get back onto a routine schedule for sleeping to better my health and better my brain. So I've been tracking dreams and writing them down just because they're interesting to me, and also it kind of helps me see if I don't sleep a whole lot, if I just dream less. And yeah. I also like to have a section every single day for gratitude. I know some people have a specific book that they literally just write down only gratitude in. I have many things I'm grateful for, but I feel like if I had a whole book dedicated to just gratitude, it would lose its purpose for me. So I like to just have a little section every single day where I write down what I'm grateful for. And this day I was very excited about trying out the viral coffee creamer trend. I made it myself with half and half in the 𝗏𝗏 condensed milk and some vanilla, and it actually is fabulous. So if you want to make your own coffee creamer, highly recommend. Other than that, I pretty much just use this as a commonplace way to journal. If there's anything I need to say that's longer than this little space, like if I have something that I really want to write about that I don't think I could fit in here, I'll write down something that's maybe more of like this, like the recipe, and then I'll use my journal and actually long form journal in like all the blank pages I have in here. And I'm not going to show this just because it's very personal, but I'll show you kind of like how I set it up. So if I don't do anything like where I break it down into 2 sheets, I'll do it, or 2 halves, sorry, I'll do it as like a memory page like this. So this day was April 22nd, and it was the Lyrid meteor shower. This is a pretty big event every single year, and it's actually been celebrated for thousands of years, which is so cool to me. And the little constellation looks like this, which actually looks like the little stars we usually doodle, right? Like the little diamonds. Anyways, we ended up getting to go to a ranch and watch the stars. Unfortunately, it rained, so we didn't get to see anything, but it was still really fun, and I liked having this memory of what we were going to go do, even though we didn't actually get to celebrate what we were doing. But yeah, I'll take you guys into what my journal kind of looks like on the other side of things. So if I don't use the daily page in this, or say I run out of room on the daily page, I like to have a separate journal that I just use kind of like for commonplacing, any kind of book reviews I'm doing on any of the books I'm reading. If I have anything I just want to dump my brain out or do a brain drain or anything like that, I just have this book on the side in case I want to add to that. And this is the Hobonichi Celeste tote cover in A5. It is a leather cover just like the 𝗏𝘃𝗃. It is also pebbled like the 𝗏𝘃𝗃, but I really like the Hobonichi one so much more. I wish it had the closure like the 𝗏𝘃𝗃 does, but this is so much lighter and it still has pockets, and I just feel like it fits so much better. Anyways, I usually keep like a little list of prompts, and these are inspired by the channel Art and Alchemy. She actually has a printable of these, and I will be making a video shortly on how to make these specific ones that I made. In case you're interested, they're really easy. All you really need is just kind of some scrap paper, and you can make them really simply. But Hobonichi A5 blank notebook, so like the back pages are completely blank, like absolutely just the tomoe river paper, and that's it. And I have it covered in a sterling ink vellum with a piece of printer paper behind it because the book is actually yellow, which is not the prettiest. It's like a, here you can kind of see on the back, it's this color yellow. It's very yellow, and it's just not really my vibe to be that yellow all the time. So I like to put the vellum on top of it just so it has its own little cover, and I try to match it to whatever cover I put it on, and I thought the orange and the blue looked really good together. Anyways, I basically just write down a cover page on this, and then I will put down any kind of, here I don't want to share my personal things, but like I basically will put down a date sticker, and then anything after this is basically my brain dump. Like I will put anything and everything, whatever I feel like writing, I'll write in this. So this is actually like journal versus like the Hobonichi cousin pages are more where I can write down memories and like cool recipes and stuff. And since this is limited to pages, like 1 page per day, that is also why I have this, because sometimes I just want to write down a lot. Like I just want to dump my brain onto paper and I'll write like 3 or 4 pages worth of stuff just so I can get it out of my brain and move on. With the cousin, I can't really do that since I only have 1 page. And that brings me to something that Sterling Ink came out with. Catherine from Sterling Ink came out with a common planner, and I am so excited to get mine. I didn't get the original dated version, but I did get the undated, and so I'm excited to see how it looks compared to the cousin, because I love being able to just write down whatever I want to write, as many pages as I want to write, which with the common planner you have that, it's just no pages at the back, but with the cousin you only have that 1 page. Anyways, hopefully this inspired you to kind of have an idea of what you would want to do with your daily pages in the cousin. I know these are probably some of the most questioned pages in the cousin, because like the weekly pages are so straightforward for the most part. Like you can just, yeah, like here's the week I'm currently on. You can just like write out however you want to lay out your day, either between hourly, or you can do just like memory keeping, like write a journal entry every single day in these skinny columns. But I think they look so, like, I think the Hobonichi cousin is mainly loved for its weekly layouts, that it's 24 hours, hourly layout, all that kind of good stuff. But their daily pages are just hard to come up with if you have too much to say. So if you like to write a lot, it's not really my favorite, which is why I like the Sterling Ink and the journal, like the additional journal. I will say if I could use these as like a maybe daily art page or something, like more like this, I would use it a lot more like this, but it takes so much time to doodle out, you know, a whole thing that it would be harder. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you guys use your daily pages for. If you're interested in more of what I post about Hobonichi stuff, I do have an Instagram. I'll put the handle on the screen for you guys, and I do post pretty regularly there. Other than that, that's really all I have for how I use my daily pages. It's not super excessive or complicated. I just like to track some random things every day, and I like to keep this book as like an archive of my year, and that way I can have like a year of my life every year. They do call this the life book for that reason, most likely. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!